We have all at one point wanted to become a Disney princess. To have hair like Elsa's, pet tiger like Jasmine, or just a literal beast of a man like Belle. We've all been there at one point. But no matter how much you love Disney, you probably don't like it as much as many Japanese people do. Unless, of course, you are Japanese and you're watching this, in which case, yoroshiku ne, eigo jouzu. In the land where everything is cute, from famous characters, fashion and animals to cars, and even people who get their hands stuck in train doors, apparently. Naturally, Disney is incredibly popular in Japan, and Tokyo Disneyland is no exception. It opened its doors in 1983 and has since been just vomiting cute and cuddly magic onto the unsuspecting masses of Tokyo. I went there a couple of months ago, it feels like about 5 years ago, and here they are, everyone, my impressions. Whoa. If you want to be terribly tight-assed, and I mean, why wouldn't you? Tokyo Disneyland is not technically in Tokyo. It's in Chiba Prefecture, just outside of Tokyo. The train ride there takes you past the Disney Hotel connected to the park. This is where you'd stay if you have a lot of money and if you want to spend a magical night with Goofy. Right by the station, I met up with my friends Valeria and Davido-san, the two cutest muffins this side of Montreal, who would join me on this adventure of adorableness. So far.
No, 恥ずかしい.
We did not fuck about in the slightest. We dove straight into the magic, yeah. Of course, first thing, we headed to the shops to get ourselves matching Minnie Mouse ears, because look at them. Jesus, they made us want to eat ourselves. We are painfully adorable. And they helped us blend in a bit more as well. Because this is a thing, groups of people, well, usually Japanese schoolgirls, go to Disneyland dressed in sort of matching outfits. It's all over Instagram. Mine included, you should go check it out, yeah. We also did a very half-assed version of this, where we all decided to wear something pink. Now I just realized this video so far is not the most butch or manly video. It's not quite bursting with testosterone, is it? But then again, this is a Disneyland video on this channel, so I don't know if you were I would be very surprised if you were expecting anything else. Anyway, all kitted out, we were ready to become the princesses we were born to be, with Disney himself granting us his blessing through a suspiciously sort of Third Reich salute. We dove nose first into his domain. I really need to cut my hair, don't I? Fuck me. Sorry, this is magical. No swearing. Jesus. I should say before this, I barely knew what a theme park was. My experience of amusement parks came from Roller Coaster Tycoon and basically nothing else. I did go to Gröna Lund once in Stockholm. I failed to win a Charizard plushie that I really wanted, and I didn't dare to ride any of the attractions. I remember I cried on the boat ride back. 2016 wasn't a fun year either. But this time I was determined to ride it all. Everything for which I was not too tall, too blonde, or too handsome to ride, I would. I smeared my cheeks against it all. Everything from the Buzz Lightyear themed one where we bumped around shooting lasers at aliens, the LSD inspired It's a Small World After All, which I didn't realize until now was the song that Zazu sings when he's captured in Scar's cage in The Lion King.
It's a small world after all.
No, anything but that.
To the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Now this one I really liked because I grew up watching the first Pirates movie. Yeah, it was really cool seeing this, albeit very modernized version, clearly. Seeing where it all came from, yeah. Everything was obviously terribly well made and decorated, very impressive. And this went for the whole park as well, obviously. It was all impeccably designed. There were so many little details to find. I even liked the fake mountains in the distance, making you feel like you were in a cartoon kind of. Escapism, fuck yeah, very welcome this year. I am overanalyzing. The highlights for me though were the more hardcore attractions, and I know. And before you start down in the comments, there are no real hardcore attractions in Disneyland compared to many other theme parks in Japan, but before this I hadn't even been on a roller coaster in my life. I was always too scared. I used to need to lay down after an escalator ride, you know. But as I said, I was gonna shove my fears up my ass and not say no to any ride. We began with the spinning cups. Or Alice's Tea Time, as they're called apparently. This was good because we could decide for ourselves how fast we wanted our cup to spin. Theoretically anyway, unless you share it with the two mean motherfuckers, Val and David. They weren't scared of any of this. We collectively decided to stir the shit out of our cup. We whipped ourselves like the bad princesses we were. I should cut that out. Next was Space Mountain. This is one of the few attractions I'd actually heard of before going to Disneyland. I imagined a hellish experience with, you know, terrifying drops and loops and corkscrews, by the end of which we'd all just get smashed into a fucking brick wall. But it wasn't that bad. We couldn't see a thing. It was all in the dark with like just flashing neon lights and stuff. But the ride itself wasn't that scary. In fact, it was fucking fun. I had a great time. I came out relieved, relentless, and a new man. Next, we went to the water slide, Splash Mountain. I was pretty cocky after, you know, surviving Space Mountain, going into the queue for this one. But as we got closer, we could see the ride and the basically free fall drop at the end. It was impossible to know if the poor people in these boats survived the fall into nothingness or if they fell into a growing pile of dead, soaked bodies at the bottom. Suddenly my cock turned into a chicken. I had no idea why on earth anyone would look forward to this.
Julian,
yes?
please tell us about your experience in Disneyland.
Okay, I'm probably going to shit myself in this next thing. Valeria says that I won't shit myself, but I am convinced that I will. Because it's a long fucking drop into nothingness and I will die and I will have shit myself as the last thing I'll do in life. That's terrible, you know. But of course I couldn't expose my utter lack of balls publicly by, you know, leaving the queue. So I texted my mother I love her and into the boat I went. And as you can tell, I survived, yay. My crotch kind of hurt a bit because my legs were tensing so much that my pants couldn't quite, you know, constrain my manhood. It was at this point though that I realized that I actually like this stuff. It was thrilling as all hell. Later on, we even went on the proper sort of roller coaster of Disneyland, Thunder Mountain. It was pretty dark at that point, and so I didn't film. I don't have any footage, but I loved that one too. I'd always seen myself as someone who doesn't like roller coasters, but this trip made me realize that I do. Holy shit, the mountain thing was so fucking fun. I like roller coasters now, everyone. Who the fuck would have thought? I really want to go back, and I want to go to Disney Sea now as well. As I mentioned, everything in the park was impeccably designed, maintained, and just worked perfectly, which is kind of my impression of most of Japan in general. It was very clean, no need for any vomit sweepers from Roller Coaster Tycoon, you know? And it was lovely just strolling around the place. I don't know if other Disneylands and worlds are like this though. I've heard from other people that the ones in the US or in France are not as, I don't know how to put this, not as well maintained, I guess, as the one in Tokyo. For instance, because of COVID, I assume, they had put little dots on the ground for people to stand on to maintain social distancing during the Disney parade thingy that was happening. And people actually stayed on the little dots waiting for hours before it started. This is pretty impressive. Look at the social distancing here, you know.
Yeah, it wouldn't work in America.
I feel Val might have a point here. I don't know though. Sorry. And then, of course, the day was rounded off with fireworks. A fitting end to a day when I not only got to spend a lovely time with my wonderful friends, but one where my friends had the time of their lives, spending time with me. If you have the opportunity to go to Tokyo and Disneyland sometime after, you know, vaccines have started rolling out next year, I guess, please do. I can highly recommend it. Even if you maybe don't like roller coasters like I did, you can go there and challenge your fears. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Do follow me on Instagram if you want to see pictures and updates like, well, from days like this. If you want to support this channel, do leave this video a like and a comment and share it with people who you think might find it interesting. I don't know. Also, obviously, subscribe and hit the bell icon if you want to see more mediocre shit like this. And before I go, I should say as well, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone. Happy holidays, people. Thank you very much for watching my videos in 2020. In 2021, there will be way more videos. That's the goal. Okay,